Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I want to talk with you all today about a topic that the Lord has given me the okay to talk on. It's something that one of my subscribers have asked me about before, and I told them that I would pray about it. And this person is like a little brother to me. I've adopted him and another young gentleman, and so they're like little brothers. So got like little John, right? Little John, that's my little brother, as well as Zion. Okay, so those are two young men who are following after the Lord that I've got on my radar. And by that I mean, they reach out to me through the comments, and I see that they're really trying to live for the Lord. And so they're trying to live for the Lord, and so therefore what I do, I'm making sure I'm seeing what they're talking about, and I'm reaching out to them as I can on the comment and encouraging them, because it's not easy to live for the Lord during these times at that age that they're at. They're young. And so let's continue to pray for our youth who are living for Christ in these times, because if we think about the times that we were living, it was hard then. So imagine now. So guys, I want to talk with you about friendships and relationships, okay? Friendships, people that are in your life that are there for a reason, a season, and then there are those who are friends for life. Now, what we have to get into a habit of and realizing is that we shouldn't be quick to just call everybody our friends. It was really easy, right? When we were growing up, you both are on the playground or whatever, or you live in the same area. Oh, that's my friend, because that's the innocence of children. And truly, someone say they're your friend, they're really your friend at that age. But as you get older, you realize that you have to use discernment and you have to use discretion before you're just saying, hey, this person is my friend. And so like with me, there's not a lot of people that I will say are my friends, like good friends. There's only a few people. I know a lot of people. I know lots of folks, but they're simply associates. Now, all of us, all humans, in my opinion, should have a genuine concern for humanity. That means you don't have to be my friend for me if I see you in distress in public, that I'm like, oh, that's not my friend. I don't need to be concerned. For me to say, hey, are you okay? Thank you. Or to compliment someone, say, hey, you look nice today, or something like that. Thumbs up. There are just certain commonalities between all human and mankind, that there's just a certain level of courtesy that we should give to all humans, but it does not mean that we are friends. We should be very, very choosy with who we're going to say is our friend. And I think before we can declare someone to be our friend, and this is what's going to save us a lot of heartache, is when you watch the character of that person. You get to know them over a period of time before you just automatically say, this is my friend. And even if you say someone is your friend and you just met them, you still have to give it time before you start saying, I'm going to share deep things with this person, and I'm going to go out and get a loan for this person, or I'm going to go into business with this individual. You can't do that. You still have to get to know that individual and see how you guys fare together in just life and situations. How do they handle conflict? How do they handle things what do they do when they're going through things in their life? How do they are they upfront? Can they be trusted? Can you trust them with, private things? How are they with people? How do they treat their friends? How do they treat their family? What's their status? All these different things, guys. And when I say status, I don't mean like, oh, are they doing big things? Just the character and how they live every day. That's going to let you know. You don't want to pick friends just because, oh, well, they live in the hood and I live in a nice area. I can't be friends with this person. No, that's not necessarily it. However, if you realize, hey, they live in a poor neighborhood and you live in a nice neighborhood, and you find that when you bring them around you, they are being bitter and they're getting mad at you because of the things that they see that you have. Or you go to their area and they're nice to you, but then they change when they're around other people. These are the telltale signs that you will be able to pick up on and know whether this person could be someone you consider a friend or not. Oftentimes people will say, this person is my friend because you were at a same event. Something happened and you guys were there, and now, hey, what's your number? And now you're friends. Other times you both have a hobby in common. Just because you both like to play golf, just because you both like art, does not mean you have that in common, but you may not have, that may be the only thing you have in common. So you realize, no, actually you're different in your mindsets and how you think and how you handle things. So having commonalities and similar hobbies is not going to make it like, yes, this can be my friend. But sadly enough, and I've done the same thing, that was just enough for you to say, hey, this is my friend. And then you have them in your house and you're going over to their place and you're doing all these different things. And then suddenly you start to realize something about them a little bit too late, because you've already started sharing deep things and invested in them in some way, or because you may discover some things about them that is not right, but because you have golf in common, because this person is funny and they have some nice things about them, you're like, oh, well, you're going to ignore the obvious. Now, don't get me wrong again. There is no perfect person, so we must be able to give one another grace, mercy, and forgiveness. We can't just throw someone away because they made a mistake, but you want to make sure that this is not a person who has a specific habit and a way of behaving that is detrimental to the friendship. Those are the type of things, guys, that you can't ignore those things. So how do you know that someone is a true friend? Well, let me tell you what a true friend is. The Bible made it very easy for us to figure this out. The Lord says, treat people the way you want to be treated. The first commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, and with all your strength. And the other is to love your neighbor as yourself. Does a true friend will treat you the way that they would want to be treated. Even if them as a person, they may have grown up in an environment where it wasn't that great, but everyone has an idea in their mind of how they would want to be treated, even though they may not have grown up in a very nurturing environment. So the key is, someone who is a true friend is going to treat you the way they want to be treated. It does not mean that there won't be conflict. It does not mean that there won't be disagreements, but the way you resolve it and the way you all are to one another will be in a way that that person would want for themselves. And sometimes when we think, well, this is how they would want to be treated, you may discover in the friendship, this is actually not the way that they would want this resolved. And as you are friends, you're able to come together and talk about it and go, okay, I got it. And you won't be a serial offender in the relationship. That is how you know, hands down, this is a friend. Sometimes people are there for a season. That means certain events, how can I say this? Sometimes based on where you're at in your life, you guys are fit right now, but sometimes you can grow apart. Sometimes distance changes, life choices makes it where you guys no longer, even though you have had a great friendship in the past, there are changes. And when the changes occur, you're going to feel it. But what happens is we want to hold on tighter to what's changing. And so because you're ignoring the indications that this relationship is no longer the same, okay, things can happen. So then you talk about some things as a friend should. But then if the person continues to do a certain thing, you continue to have conflict, then you know things have changed, the elements have changed. You no longer have those things in common. Their company has changed, their mindset has changed. So then you're going to realize this person was for this season in my life. Because there's some people where at a certain time you were to be friends. You guys were there for one another, but things changed. And so you have to accept and just appreciate the times that you have with that person. Do not ignore the indicator of the change in the relationship, because continuing to hold on or trying to overlook or make excuses for things that's happening, where separation needs to happen here, doesn't mean it's bad. We're just not where we were. We're not how we were when we were 16 years old. We got along perfectly when we were teenagers, but now, you know what? This person is different. And so in order for you to have a friendship with this individual, you would have to compromise yourself or allow yourself to be verbally abused or changing your way. Sometimes it's not abuse, but you have to kind of change who you are to gel with them. So you have to just pay attention to that and just realize, hey, this is different. I appreciate what we had when we were young, but we're not there anymore. And you're not obligated to just keep holding on and holding on and holding on to that person, because that's where conflict happens and you end up being hurt. So you know this person was here for a season. Sometimes people come and they help you, and it's for a reason at that moment. The gentleman that I ran into, our paths crossed. My phone was on top of my car. I didn't know it. I lost my phone. I realized I had to keep circling. He was sent at that moment to help me at that time. That was for a reason, a purpose. We did not exchange numbers. We're not BFFs. We're not buddies talking to one another. That's not why God sent him my way. I saw somebody, they had their card. I grabbed a card for them or whatever. And, that may not be a good idea, but good example. But there was somebody that I met them at the store. The Lord had me talk to him. We discussed some things. I prayed with them and everything. It was not for me to engage and get a phone number or anything. I was there for a reason. I was a friend. I was an ear at that moment. And so if we can understand the dynamics of friendships, friends that's for that moment, friends that's for a season until you mature and grow your own way. It's not that anything is wrong, but we have grown apart. Right? And we were here for a season. And then you have those that's there for life, in which you have no complications with this person. Because the person that God sends to you, you guys are going to be so much like in spirit, like David and Jonathan. They were like kindred spirit. And when you are kindred spirit with somebody, which is it's very rare to meet these individuals. Basically what it is, you have the same beliefs, you have the same mindset, and you're going to treat each other the way you want to be treated. So even though you may have moments where, hey, everything is not that great all the time, you're still going to have these basic common beliefs, core beliefs and values among yourself, where the friendship is just going to vibe. It's just going to be perfect. You will handle your conflicts and everything in a way where it just does not, there's no trouble, there's no problems, there's no ongoing issues and lingering feelings, because such individuals exist. And sometimes, guys, your friends and those connections, sometimes you're wishing somebody was right there with you, but God will send you people who is far away from you, who are alike in spirit with you, but they're not there with you, but they're yet still a friend. Sometimes we think friends ideally will be somebody that's right there. You can go over, they can come over and all these different things. But a lot of times, guys, we have to learn to appreciate certain things from people and find our fullness and our wholeness and our completion in God. so that we're able to enjoy people at different stages, at different capacities, without feeling that we are incomplete without them, and recognizing, hey, I've outgrown this person. We're no longer the same. It's nothing personal, but I recognize that we are here for a season and we're here for a time. Because a lot of times you're going to end up getting hurt, and it will do more damage than good when you're still trying to hold on to something that was only for a certain period of time. So I hope that this does make sense. It's not something that we're going to just get off the top. You can pray and ask the Lord to help you and to show you and to guide you. Lord, bring people in my life who are true friends, Lord. And sometimes, guys, sometimes you're sticking to your own kind, your own culture. I only want black friends. I only want white friends. I only want Asian friends. Sometimes they're wonderful people housed in a different skin color. Because at the end of it all, our skin and our color is going to shed away and go back to the earth, and we're going to raise up a soul, which we all have, and we're all one. We're souls who belong to God. So sometimes you're meeting jerks because, you're not looking outside of your race. You're not looking outside of your status. Oh, no. This person's poor. I'm not trying to fool with them. Or, this person is black. This person is white. This person got cornrows going to the front. We're just going to think all kinds of things. And sometimes you miss wonderful friendships. You look at people's age. Oh, this is an old person. But there's so much wisdom in the elderly. You may be older. Oh, no. I mean, granted, you can't be buddies with a 20-year-old, but you know what? You can still have things in common that you can be, they're like a younger you or something. And you can give them some sound advice, and they can show you some things and tell you some things that'll make you laugh. And you guys can absolutely, invest in each other in kindness and in encouragement and in just laughs. So pray specifically that God will remove from you those who are not for you and bring around you those who are good and who are kind, because there's a lot of people that's becoming discouraged in the world because it seems like there are just so many like demons walking around in people. But guys, there are good people out there. They're just rare, and God protects them, and God keeps them, and He has His hedge of protection around them, because number one, He's not going to have them in a position where people are destroying what He has placed in them. And sometimes He is setting them aside specifically for certain people. So don't scorn those moments where God has you separated. Pray specifically for friends, what you would like for them, what you would like to have in a friend. And also check yourself, because there are people who are looking for friends, but they have not one bone of friendship in them. They're selfish. They want somebody that's just going to listen, that's going to be there for them, that's going to do for them, and they have no intention of reciprocating. So some people are there for a reason. Some people are there for a season. And there's some that you will have for life. They may be right there close by, and they may be long distance, but nevertheless still a friend. Remember, distance has nothing to do with what true friendship is. And the biggest thing for us as believers is that we are whole in God. In His presence, there's fullness of joy. And at His right hand, there are pleasures forever. Their pleasures forevermore. With Him, He'll give us perfect peace. So therefore, whether you have a current friend and plenty of friends around you or not, you're going to be so content in Him that you're not going to feel like you're on edge and you need somebody. Then you become a leech to somebody else, or you are making poor decisions, just wanting a friend in your life, and then ended up being hurt and creating more and more misunderstanding and chaos than what you need in your life. All right, guys, hope this makes sense. Little John, I hope this answers your question. Anything else, trust God to give you the rest, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Well, I'll talk to you guys soon.